Welcome to Introduction to Stock Sectors, brought to you by Kanjo.com. Stock sectors are one method used to categorize stocks into different groups so that they can be analyzed more effectively. That's what we're going to be discussing today. But before we jump into that, let's talk about some of the stock basics, just as a review. Remember that a stock represents ownership in a company. When you buy a share of stock, you are buying a share of that enterprise. Over the long run, stocks tend to outperform other asset classes, but in the short run, stocks are highly volatile. This is why stocks need to be thought of as a long-term investment. Now, there are a few different ways that you can categorize stocks. You can categorize them by sector, style, and market cap. The focus of this video is going to be sectors. Now, a sector is basically just a broad economic group. There are 10 major sectors in the economy, and we're going to talk a little bit about each one. First up, we got the telecommunications sector. This sector includes wireless companies such as Sprint and Verizon. Next up, we got the materials sector, which focuses on raw goods such as steel and plastics. The utilities sector focuses on the physical infrastructure for power, water, and gas. An example of a utilities company is PG&E, or Pacific Gas and Electric. Next up, we got the industrial sector. The industrial sector focuses on large-scale manufacturing and includes the car companies such as Ford and Chrysler, which I'm sure you've heard about a lot in the news lately. The information technology sector focuses on software, hardware, and the internet and is made up of companies such as Google, Apple, and Cisco. The healthcare sector is largely made up of pharmaceutical companies such as Merck and GlaxoSmithKline. Next up, we got the big one, the financial sector, which everybody's heard about in the news a lot lately. And this covers all the investment banks and the bank holding companies, including Goldman Sachs and Citigroup. And it also covers the insurance industry. Next up, we got the consumer staples sector. This sector includes companies such as Procter & Gamble, which manufacture household goods such as cleaning supplies, toothpaste, and toilet paper. The consumer discretionary sector includes the major media companies like News Corporation and Disney. And finally, the largest of all the markets is the energy sector, which covers oil, gas, and the burgeoning solar space. It's represented by companies such as Exxon, Chevron, and British Petroleum. Now, the big takeaway here is that the companies within each sector need to be evaluated differently. It doesn't make sense to compare a tech company like Google to an energy company like ExxonMobil. On the other hand, comparing Exxon to another oil company such as Chevron or BP can help you make an educated investment decision because you're comparing apples to apples. You can't compare apples to oranges. And comparing things between different sectors is sometimes like doing that, comparing like apples to oranges. So this is why it makes sense to classify stocks by sector. You get better comparisons. So I hope this video has helped you understand the different sectors a little bit, how they play into investing and why they're important. Thank you very much for watching. For similar videos, I recommend you check out my website, www.kanjo.com.